If you play Monster Hunter Wilds straight out of the gates with all of the default settings, you will still have a phenomenal experience. There are some which are a little bit scuffed, and tweaking them slightly will just help enhance it further. These are all subjective, you may not even like some of these changes. I'm going to walk through all of the setting adjustments that I really enjoy to help overall improve the gameplay experience for myself. But before we jump in, a super quick word from today's sponsor. Thanks for watching this, it helps support the channel. LagoFast is a gaming VPN that enhances your gaming experience. It stabilizes your internet connection to minimize disconnections during gameplay, reduces latency by allowing a server and node selection to significantly decrease ping times, enhancing real-time responsiveness, and uses Smart Boost technology to improve in-game performance, leading to higher frame rates and reduced lag spikes. There's also easy server switching, a user-friendly interface for quick and effective server changes to optimize connection quality. In addition to stabilizing your network connection and reducing latency, LagoFast also considers providing players with convenient and practical tools. They have the Monster HP and DPS Statistics plugin, providing the monster's health bar during hunts and showing a DPS meter for you and your squad, the one-click unlock bonus to get the save data bonuses, and a decompression boost tool to help Steam unpack the game quicker and more efficiently, a process that can often take longer than downloading the game itself. LagoFast supports both PC and console. Check out the link in the description for a free trial and use code DAN for 30% off. The first few settings I would adjust are the map orientation ones, changing the minimap rotation from rotating to fixed, so that it's always north facing up. As I'm running around changing directions, spinning my camera around, the minimap is staying fixed, not rotating around all over the place, which I find to be super disorienting. You can also adjust the elevation which is displayed on your minimap. I like the fixed angle with a 3-dimensional view, but if you want the flat 2D one, you can do that as well. On the detailed map rotation, it's the same as the minimap rotation. Turn it on fixed, it'll always be north facing up, which helps me understand the region and my positioning much better. For all of the gauge displays, I like having them fixed so that they're always shown, rather than dynamic, which hides them away into this minimized version, displaying no information at all. When I tried dynamic, there are times where I actually wanted to see what was going on, but it wasn't popping up. This way I have all the information I want always available. The obscured hunter visibility displays a silhouette with a highlighted outline when the hunter is blocked from view by a monster. Pick whichever color suits you best. I just go with the white one, showing me exactly where I am when the monster is in between the hunter and the camera. Just great for your overall hunting orientation. The Sacred Auto Explore mode will see your Sacred just start wandering off even if no waypoint has been set. There are a few different Sacred options that we're going to be adjusting which will all help, but turning this off is definitely the first one you want to do. All of these up till now have been in the first tab. We're going to very quickly hop into the second tab and go over to the second page. The first one is to change the core Sacred controls from auto move to manual move, putting it into manual movement mode as you call it over, and very importantly changing the Sacred manual controls from type 1 to type 2. You know how it's always just kind of moving around and it feels like you don't actually have control over it, you're not really steering it, it's steering you? Changing this setting fixes that. It will only move when you're tilting your left stick. When you stop tilting it, it will stop moving. Back over to the first tab in the game settings, we're on page 3. You can change your weapon attack power display from with coefficient to without coefficient. What this means is, you know how the hammer and the greatsword have these big high inflated damage numbers to denote that it's a slower swinging weapon that hits harder but doesn't actually let you very accurately compare it to other weapons. This gets rid of those bloated values. They all show with just their true attack. Back over to controls, page 1, you can disable the auto sheath that happens where you automatically put your weapon away, having not dodged, attacked, or done any input for some amount of time. I find the auto sheath very disruptive and super annoying. With it disabled, you just have to press R1 to manually put your weapon away. Much nicer. You can switch your focus mode from holding down L2 to toggling L2. And you can have a setting for melee weapons and one for ranged weapons too. Personally, I like using the default active mode, but it is worth a mention here because the toggle mode can be really useful, especially if you play ranged weapons. And probably handy for Insect Glaive too. Over to the third tab, camera, and the second page. By default, you're pretty zoomed in. If you adjust the camera distance zoom to whatever level you prefer, as far out as you can if you like, you'll be a little zoomed out. The POV is less in your face. I find it comfortable on max zoom out. So many people don't use the lock-on at all because they're not aware of the focus camera versus the target camera. By default, this is enabled and has that sticky lock-on where your camera follows whatever monster you're locked onto. If you move your right stick too far away, it unlocks on. This doesn't give you much freedom or control, so many players opt to just not use lock-on at all. This is not the way. With it disabled, you will be using the target camera lock-on. Click L3 to lock on to the monster. Your camera will not pan over to them. Instead, by tapping L1, it will quickly readjust and center the camera on the monster, regardless of which way you're facing. You maintain complete freedom with your right stick and your camera control without removing the lock-on functionality. So effectively, target lock-on is the best of both. There is absolutely no reason not to use this target camera lock-on if you're currently not using lock-on at all. And whilst we're here with the lock-on, on page 3 you can set your target filtering to only allow you to lock on to large monsters. If you like locking onto small monsters, you can leave it on all. I prefer it on large monsters only. And lastly, over on the audio tab, you can disable voice chat and set the voice for your Palico, whether they use the feline language or human language. Both are very cute, but if this offends your delicate sensibilities, you can of course set it back to feline language. Those are all the settings I like to use. Take this sacred wisdom and increase your OP-ness substantially. Have you adjusted any settings I didn't mention here that you absolutely swear by? Let me know in the comments. I'm making tons of Wilds videos and guides. If you enjoyed them, join the 20% of returning viewers and subscribe for more. I'm also trying to get to 10k over on TikTok, which unlocks monetization. If you do use that, a follow on there would be super appreciated. But either way, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the Forbidden Lands.